All right. Hi, everybody. I hope you are having a great day. I am Dr. Heather Moore, owner of Total Performance Physical Therapy. Tonight we are discussing IT band syndrome, causes and treatments. IT band syndrome is IT band tendinitis and an irritation of the IT band. Where is the IT band? Let's start with that. The IT band is found on the outside of your leg. It extends all the way up from your hip down to the outside of your knee. It is a very, very problematic. It really doesn't show, or it doesn't show up on X-ray and MRI as being a problem. So this is where we wind up seeing a lot of this in physical therapy. Is a lot of people with knee pain. It's due to this IT band being irritated, and everyone wants something to show up on X-ray and MRI, and this doesn't. It's just a very tight muscle. But why does it get tight? So let's talk about some of the causes. First of all is footwear. The horrible footwear that I'm wearing tonight will absolutely cause IT band tendinitis. Any sort of heel, improper running shoe, barefoot, flip-flops, you name it. Anything that's going to put that increased stress on the knee is going to cause an irritation in that IT band. So be aware that, we see a lot of this ramp up in the summer when people are walking more barefoot, people are in flip-flops a lot more. But also when running picks up, because if you don't have proper footwear, or maybe your footwear is going on 500 miles and it shouldn't be, or maybe you haven't been fitted correctly, it's really important to understand footwear can cause a major problem in your IT band. It doesn't matter whether you're flat-footed, it doesn't matter whether you are high arch. Either one can cause an issue in that IT band. If you're flat-footed and you're running or doing any sort of workout, jumping, and you are allowing your foot to have contact with the ground, and let's say you're flat-footed, your knees will actually start to come in like this if you don't have the proper support in your shoe. That inwardness will cause stress on that IT band, causing that irritation, causing that inflammation. If you have a high arch, it can cause it to be actually extended outward a little bit, again, causing that inflammation. So shoe wear is really important. If you're someone who already has IT band tendinitis or IT band syndrome, understand that if you are still walking around barefoot, flip-flops, high heels, whatever, you want to make sure that you get on a really good pair of walking shoes or running shoes so you are able to maintain that really good foot contact with the ground. Second cause is weakness. Probably one of the biggest causes of IT band syndrome is weakness. Hip weakness, hamstring weakness. Your glute med, which is up here, very important in the IT band complex. And it's important to understand that if your glutes are weak, if your hamstrings are weak, if your abs are weak, this muscle here, the IT band on the outside of your leg, is a really big muscle. So it's going to compensate. It's going to really kick into overdrive. It's going to try and do what your hamstring can or what your glute can't. And therefore, it's going to become irritated. It's going to become inflamed. So weakness, really, really big in that cause of an IT band syndrome, IT band tendinitis. The other side of that coin is tightness, hamstring tightness, hip flexor tightness, IT band tightness. All of that tightness can really cause irritation and inflammation in that IT band. So be aware that there are certain things that tightness, weakness, and a lot of times, again, they go hand in hand. When we talk about IT band syndrome, it can be coming from a number of different causes. So it's not, one specific thing a lot of times. When we work on it in here, all of our patients, we're working on all different facets of what's causing it, because a lot of times you are weak, you are tight, maybe you didn't get fit for your proper shoes. Then another cause of IT band syndrome can be improper running form. Now, this is the one thing everyone always tries to fix, and it's not fixable if you're weak and if you're tight. Don't try and go banging your head against the wall saying, oh, I have to turn and I have to be a midfoot striker. If you aren't a midfoot striker, there's a reason, probably because there's something tight. It might not even be your IT band. It could be your Achilles tendon. It could be a number of things. So this is always the one people want to fix first and address first because they think it's the easiest. But if you don't have the muscle length, if you don't have the muscle strength to be able to run in the pattern you want to run in, you're not going to fix it. You're going to wind up injuring everything else a lot more. That's why I hate to mention it, but I know I have to, because it is a cause of IT band syndrome. It is the last thing that you should ever attack when you're dealing with IT band syndrome. You've got to fix everything else. in order to make that a possibility. If all you do is concentrate on that, you're not going to be successful. So just understand that you really need to make sure that that's really the last thing you address. You make sure you have proper footwear, you make sure that you are not weak, you make sure that you are not tight, and then we worry about running form. So we're going to talk about how to fix the weakness and the tightness, because those are the two things we can fix. Obviously, you need to go to the running store and get fitted for running shoes if you are not already properly fitted, or just stop walking around barefoot if that's what you're doing. So weakness in the glute med. So one of the things you're going to do is we're going to do hip hikes. So all you're going to do is you're going to stand here, you're going to drop your hip and raise it up. Drop it up, or drop it down, raise it up. All right? You're not bending and straightening your knee. You're just dropping it down and raising it up. This is actually going to feel the burn on the leg that you're standing on. It's really important that you go slow and you're not just doing this, all right? You need to make sure that you stabilize, okay? So you're here and you're up. You can do this on a step if you want. The balance is just as important as the up and down motion. So nice and slow. You want to do about 3 sets of 30 of these. You're building endurance. It's not a strength. So don't start lifting a weight in one hand. Do 3 sets of 30 on each leg. If that irritates your IT band, do a little less, but make sure that you really focus on that. And the next one you're going to do is just the leg kick out to the side. Now again, you can do this with a ton of weight, you can do this laying on your side, but you really want to concentrate on more of that endurance, because you need that endurance strength to support that IT band. So you're going to start on one leg and you're going to kick out and back. So you're not right out to the side and you're not going backwards. So you're kicking almost on a 45-degree angle, nice and slow. Again, you want to keep that balance. You don't want to be holding on to anything. That's going to take the work off of the leg, the stabilizing leg, the leg that you need to work the glute med for. So you're going to keep this leg nice and straight, and you're going to go back at about a 45-degree angle, nice and slow and controlled. Again, about 3 sets of 30. If you need to put an ankle weight on there, do it. But honestly, if you're past that, then that's really not your issue. If you can do that with no fatigue and no pain, you're good. That's not your issue. So let's talk about what we can do to loosen it up. So this is the only thing that loosens it up. All right. There are stretches out there. We have some on our YouTube channel. I don't believe they work very well. This is the only thing that really, really works. It is a foam roller with spikes on it. It is extremely painful if it's the first time you've ever done it. Maybe even it's the fifth time you've ever done it. It is very, very painful. So I know a lot of people like the stretch because you just get to put your hip up against the wall and stretch it out. It's a very fibrous and tough tissue. So you really have a hard time stretching it up against the wall. You need to, if that's a stretch that you feel works, great, but you also need to be doing the foam rolling. So when you foam roll the IT band, you're going to get on the floor and you're going to sit on your side. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. You're going to put the one leg over, okay? Now, the more you push up on your hand and the more you push up on the leg, the less pressure goes on that IT band, and you're just going to walk forward. You want to go all the way down to your knee, okay? Notice how I'm crossing my knee and then coming all the way back up. In the interest of space, I'm not moving anywhere because I have to stay on camera, but you're going to roll across the floor doing this one. If that's too easy, then you can stack your legs and you can do the same thing. But stacking your legs on a spike roller takes a lot of practice. A lot of times when people try and foam roll their IT band, they'll come back here and they'll roll backwards. That's not your IT band. Your IT band is on the side. So if you're rolling backwards in order to stay off your IT band, make sure you're rolling directly on the side of that leg, right here, okay? Not back here. You're not rolling forward onto the quad. You're not rolling backwards onto the hamstring. You are here. If you are suffering with IT band tendonitis and you roll that IT band, it should be painful. You should feel tender spots. If you don't, chances are you've come off that IT band and you're actually not rolling on it. If you or someone you know is suffering from IT band tendonitis or IT band syndrome and wants a free consultation with a doctor of physical therapy, all you have to do is call our office at 215-997-9898 and we'd be happy to help. Thanks and have a good night.